Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dialogue, the dialogue on analog music reproduction. And today, indeed, we are going to talk about analog. We are going to dive in the world of tape. Actually, with the masters of tape. Masters, that's already a hint with whom we are going to talk about. But I'm talking also about the qualities of their tape, the qualities of their product. I'm a great fan, so I'm very happy to have here with me, as you can see, Guillaume and Matt from Recording the Masters. Matt is a
Hello.
music and marketing engineer, and Guillaume is the tech and quality control. Welcome, guys.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you for accepting this exchange. So, I'll start immediately with my questions. Why did Mulan Industries, now RTM, decided to reactivate tape production? I mean, that was something incredible after MTech, RMG, and things like that. Pyro.
Mulan had the capability to manufacture magnetic tapes since the beginning because we were producing perforated tape for cinema industry. So it made sense to add a reel-to-reel audio tape in our range of products. That's why we decide to produce this. In 2012, RMGI in Netherlands decided to stop their production, so Piral bought all the equipment from them, and all the equipment was transferred from Netherlands to France, and we started to manufacture reel-to-reel audio tape. A few years later, we noticed that there was a demand for cassette tape, and that's why we start to manufacture this product.
Great, fantastic. We're very glad you did, actually. I wanted to ask, are the original AGFA and BASF, or BASF as we say in Italy, formulas truly present now in your products? Is it the same, or are they different, or maybe better?
The formula are the same used by RMGI. The main element, the main base of the audio tape is the pigment, and we are using exactly the same pigment used by RMGI and BASF. That's the sound of the tape. It gives the sound. And the improvement we've made is mainly on the process. So we worked on how to better manufacture the slurry, and also better coat the tape. We worked mainly on the calendaring system. The calendaring is the big rollers that make the tape smooth and shiny, and it gives the best tape head contact to get the best output as possible. And we work mainly on this part of the machine. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
We used to manufacture instrumentation tape at the time. It's a tape used for military and scientific application. So this tape is very demanding about the tape surface. So that's why we mainly work on the calendaring. And as the audio tape is made on the same machine, it benefits of this improvement.
Okay. Well, thank you for explaining that. Can you briefly go through the main tapes? Well, actually, all of them, the four types you have now. What are the main difference, the main use that they're usually adopted for, more or less? I know a lot of people know, but you never know. I mean, I think it's a good point to explain to the public, to the audience.
So we have two formulas, and with two different type of oxide. The higher grade is the SM900. It's a +9 tape. It's mainly for professional and use, and it's available in every width, in 2-inch, 1-inch, half-inch, and quarter-inch. The second tape is the SM911. It's a +6 tape, and it's also available in every width. So the third tape is the LPR90. It's the long play version of the SM900. So it's a thinner magnetic layer, and so the base film is also thinner, and it's a +3 tape. And the last one is the LPR35. It's also a long play version, but this time from the SM911, and also a +3 tape.
Okay. But what could be the main difference between 911 and 900, you think?
Yeah, it's the oxide used.
Someone says
On
911 for archival purposes and 900 for mastering, but what does that mean?
No, it's not really the main purpose. It's the difference in coercivity. I mean the SM911 give more color in the sound than SM900. So 900 is more used for classical music and jazz music. SM911 is mostly used for, let's say, for rock music, because it has it color more the sound than SM900.
Ah, cool. I didn't know that. And may I ask why the SM468 was ceased, is not in production anymore?
Yeah, we had to sort of take focus on what we were doing and looking at growing the tape business. Obviously, we operate from a huge factory, and as you can see from our product line's probably double the most of our competitors. So we really had to sort of look at what we were doing and had to make a choice on, how we were going to grow as a business. And, for us, the SM498 then at that point wasn't actually a huge market for us, and we have to produce these big master reels, and we had to just take sort of, with the team, look, we need to sort of stop production, focus on these 4 main products for the time being. It's not saying it may not come back in the future, but for us for now, it was mainly sort of looking at the market, looking at the sales. Did it justify to keep sort of investing in this product? And unfortunately at the time it didn't. So, we'd love to make all different formats of tape and continue to grow. So for us, it's focusing on the 4 for now, continue to invest in them, and maybe in the future, as we see the tape sort of industry is growing and growing, which is great, maybe we can bring it back. But for now, we want to focus on what we can do best.
What is your main competitor? ATR?
ATR definitely, Ampex, and obviously and what they do in the States, I would say. But I think it's good. I think it's good to have so many different forms of tape out there, and people try them all, and let's grow the business together.
Of course. I'll try to ask this. If by any chance, are you thinking of creating a new formula, a new tape?
It's not at the minute. There's
Okay.
not for us at the moment. I think we're at this point now where we're seeing such great growth and such interest that
Okay.
what we want to do is focus on continually consistently making a great product. So we know with these 4 tape lines, and also with the cassettes, which we'll touch on in a bit, that we feel confident and we know what we're doing. So maybe in the future. But for now,
Okay.
this is for us, and we feel happy with that.
I'll take the maybe. You never know. I'm glad about it. Can you just briefly describe the main steps in creating a film, the oxide, the compound, tape? Just the main steps.
So yeah, the main step are so first we prepare the slurry, so the mixing, the grinding, and the filtering of the formula using all the raw material we receive from different suppliers. Then the slurry is fed into the coating machine, and the coating machine is a huge equipment where the slurry is laid down on the base film. While the slurry is still liquid just after applying it on the base film, a strong magnet orientates all the pigment in the same direction. So then it passes through the oven to dry the slurry. And the final step is the calendering. I mentioned it previously. The calendering is a way to smooth the surface of the tape. So the final step is to slit the big roll we produce in tapes every width and every length for the market.
Perfect. So what could be the most difficult passage, you think, and the most expensive also in producing magnetic tape?
To be honest, it's the cost of running a factory, energy bills. And this time it's huge for us. Obviously, the slurries, the coating machines, that is one sort of big difficulty and cost for us. It's the overheads that are the main issue. But it's the consistency of the raw materials that we get in. We need to make sure that the pigment and everything that comes in is perfect. We want to be known as the best in the business for our quality tape, and we have to be so consistent with the raw materials that come through the door, and also for us that we're creating the best possible product and keep that consistently. So, for us, definitely, again, the running costs, making sure we're consistent from the beginning to end, which we are, but it's a huge amount of time and effort. But then also one of our main features of our tape is, making sure the tape doesn't shed. We're known for one of our sort of main sort of positive of our tape is it doesn't shed, and we really focus on that. And that is a huge cost and process just to keep investment and making sure that we're at the top of our game.
I have your tapes. It's already been like how much? 10 years, maybe more. No shedding. So you're doing
Amazing.
things correct. Absolutely.
Brilliant to hear.
Fortunately, we are very lucky because you are also making cassettes, which is something that really surprised the community. Everyone was shocked when you decided to create the fax, and now you have the new versions of that. Type 1 cassettes. So you can confirm it's the SM900 formula exactly, or are there little differences?
There are little differences, but it's based on that formula. So if you listen to, there's a lot of new tapes out there. You might buy off Amazon that may be new old stock as well. But when you're listening to an RTM, if it's blank or a duplicated cassette, it's the SM900 formula it's based on, and you can I'd love people to try and definitely see the difference between that and sort of standard tape.
And what are you selling more? More cassettes, if I can ask, or more reels?
It's interesting because you probably say at the minute, units wise, they're not too dissimilar. But it's difficult to do a comparison because they're completely
The
different
costs
markets.
also, different market, different costs. Yeah.
But the interesting thing for us is we're seeing such incredible growth on the cassettes. For us, actually, we're hoping in the next sort of 2 years that actually the cassette sales will be a few times more than our reel-to-reel sales. It's crazy the amount of interest, especially in younger audiences right now.
Exactly.
Even with the blank cassettes, there's some incredible young influencers and who are showing people how to produce with cassettes, how to incorporate into their sort of production technique, or even just how to do a mixtape. Because a lot of kids nowadays are walking and going, what the hell is this? What is hell is this cassette? So there is such sort of a boom from a younger audience, which is great. But also, I think it's that thing. It's the same as vinyl. I think everyone really loves to have that part of physical and support an artist and sort of feel, it sounds a bit strange, but feeling that you're part of it rather than just streaming nowadays. So I think people look for it. If they're not vinyl and it's not tape, oh well, maybe let's try cassettes. So no, it's really exciting.
A few, some time, I don't know exactly when ago, on your website, because every once in a while I go there and check what's happening, I noticed that you started a duplication service. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so we now offer cassette duplication in-house. So we actually do it now for a number of major labels, independent labels, and
Cool.
artists. They are really sort of one of the really cool points, I guess, is some producers quite like how, oh, well, in the studio we'll produce with the SM900 or we'll use the SM900 in a certain way, and they love that actually I can release the cassette on the same sort of formula. It's a really nice sort of parallel that producers and artists are liking. But for us, we're doing the whole thing. So I can actually show you here. I have one. This is actually my business card, but it's a really good example of things that we do. So we cell wrap everything. We print on the cassette. So what we do is we actually, maybe difficult to see, but we do UV printing. So you can print anything onto the shell, which is really good. We also produce the J cards, so we can print anything. So artists can come to us, labels can come to us, and we can produce a really good looking product that also sounds really good as well. Because it's interesting. I think we're in a stage now, where cassettes are at a point where they are still, when for labels and artists, they are still a bit merchandise related rather than maybe a listening product. So for us, knowing that we can produce a quality listening product that is growing is great. And there's been some really great artists and labels we've worked with that have, noticed the difference between our duplication with our tape than sort of standard duplication with standard tape.
But do you need old machines to do that, or did you have new machines to do the duplication process, the high-speed duplication?
So we do have all the old Tapematics in house. We have all the old school from the 80s, those machines, and
That's what I thought.
That's what we do everything off. We have a digital bin where we feed everything through and then to the Tapematics, but we wouldn't have it any other way at the minute. It's great just seeing the production and them being produced, and the quality that we can get out of it is great. So yeah, we'll continue to do that.
Is there any chance that at a certain point you are going to do a Type 2 formula?
Probably the question I get asked the most out of anything ever. So at the time being, for us, it's kind of similar to the 468. We have people asking us, but to produce an amount that would make business and commercial sense is really difficult at the time being. We can't see the demand high enough yet where we can produce the amount we would need to produce. Because with the Type 1, we're quite lucky. Obviously, we can produce it for the blank cassettes, but also we can use it for the duplication as well. So Type 2, and obviously working with the chromium pigment, and for us at the minute, we wouldn't feel that confident that we'd be able to bring an amazing quality Type 2 cassette out there. So for us, the main thing is the commercial side of it. It doesn't really, make sense for now. There is not saying that it's something we'd look at in the future, definitely, because we know people want it. If there's a way that we can do it, we will look at it. But for the time being, it's not something that we're going to do.
Well, I actually support this because I don't know if you know, but I did a few videos where I presented the new Type 2s, and they are terrible. Almost all of them, I'm sorry to say, they are not good. So if you have to do them that way, then I think it's better not to do them, actually. So
that's it. And I always recommend, I know people want to go to Type 2, but try the RTM Type 1 and see how you get on. And, we're always here. If you have any technical questions, you can reach out to our team. We'd love to. We want to learn more and more how we can help the tape side of the tape audience. So, yeah. We recommend people try it and see how they get on.
I wanted to go back. I have another question on reel to reel. Do you know more or less how many artists or producers or technicians are actually buying tape to do analog recordings, or is that something you're not monitoring? You don't know that much.
It's interesting. It's been a big thing that we've done in the past year, because for us, we want to educate everyone that we can. So we feel like the best way is, if your favorite artist is recording on tape, how can we showcase that and do videos and work together?
Yeah.
So, for us, there are a number of artists out there that are using tape, not just our tape, other competitors, and are producing with it. We were in the US at AES last year. We had a huge amount of people coming up to us saying, this artist is using tape, this artist is using your tape. And it was really great to hear that actually people are using it, but now actually artists are starting to actually go into the studio, go into labels and going, I want to try it. I want to learn. I want to go for it. And it seems to be increasing. So
That's
great. There's a lot of, especially in the US and the UK that we know of, there are a lot of artists in studios that are now producing with tape, which is great. And hopefully that increases.
Fantastic. No, because I don't know if you roamed a little my channel. I'm hosting more and more people, labels that are putting out incredible music on tape. Most of them AAA, 100% analog, and that's difficult to do. So it's incredible how after the vinyl resurgence, this is bringing to this high quality analog. A lot of people would say it's just nostalgia, but I think it's also quality, or at least a different type of quality, which is fantastic. I wanted to go back now to cassettes because at a certain point, you tried to create a Walkman, the Mystic. Actually, I was a beta tester. You sent me one. And I liked it. It was very nice. I mean, it wasn't incredible because it's very, very difficult to do something. We're missing the whole chain, as I always say, the whole complete chain to create something like Sony was doing. It's impossible to do now, or at least it would take millions. My question is there something similar in the future, or are you just planning on selling? Because you are selling, I think, a model now online, but it's not that refined version that was in the making before.
Yeah, so we do sell it still at the moment. I think obviously it was something the company did quite a few years ago now, and I think it was more of an accessibility thing rather than like a high quality player. Obviously, it's really difficult because, as you may know, the mechanism, probably every Walkman in the world now uses the same mechanism because no one's making the compact ones that they did for the old Sony Walkmans, for example, back in the day. So, it's really difficult to manufacture nowadays. For us, it's not something we're going to continue to push. We are great allies and work with We Are Rewind, who they obviously are working in the Walkman space and produced a really good Walkman there. And we sort of shout about them as well. But for us, we've taken steps. We want to work on what we know is best, and that's chemistry, working on the tape. So it's nice to have that Walkman for accessibility and people can enjoy it. But we're going to focus on the tape.
Reasonable. At a certain point, someone told me, I don't know if this is true, that you had on the table, you were thinking of developing a cassette deck or a boombox or something like that. Is that true? Can you say something on that?
Oh, I don't want to disappoint you, but no, that's just a rumor. No, nothing. Nothing true about that. Yeah, I think for us, we're happy to work with people and give our sort of knowledge again on what we can and help people produce a great cassette deck. Because again, we'd love to see one in the future, but again, it's the mechanism issue. But we'd love to help and support anyone we can, but no, not for us. Again, just focus on the tape for now.
Okay. No. Well, it's like we were saying before. I mean, if you have to do it well. Otherwise, wait or not do it. Simply, I do understand that, and it's perfectly understandable. I just wanted to ask you, with your words, why should a producer, why should a musician, a young artist, or even old artists that are used to digital, use tape? In your opinion, both of you. I mean, if you have anything to say.
Yeah, I think for me, I always use the term happy accidents. I'm a bit of a nostalgic guy, but I like the process. I think it kind of, and this is maybe a bit horrible to say, but it kind of puts more pressure on the musicians. And I think you go into a studio knowing, well, I've got so much tape. We know the price. We know this. We need to get this going. And I think sometimes that produces some incredible performances. I've spoken to many sort of engineers and studios, and they've gone, yeah, we did it, and we did this little, we played this guitar riff by accident, and this, and we got it on tape, and we did this product, and it came out of nowhere. Whereas normally, if you're on a computer, we click right, delete, or we'll save for later. And I think it's just that whole experience for me. I think I call it happy accidents. I like that side of it. But again, I know I'm biased, but again, I think that musically, especially hip hop, indie, rock, I love the sound of tape on those sort of genres. So for me, I think putting tape in the process is a great learning and experience. So I'd always recommend doing it.
Okay. Well, clearly after listening to all of this, it's clear that we have this great software, but we have a huge problem, as you know. We are missing the hardware. We don't have at least quality components to playback, to record. You have to go vintage or refurbish or use. There are some new devices which are decent, but I wouldn't call them high quality. So what can we do? What can the market do? The labels do? The companies? If you have any suggestions.
Yeah, I think I always draw it back. I know it's different, but to when vinyl had its probably resurgence maybe 10 years ago now, 10, 12, maybe more. So when obviously vinyl came in, there wasn't the players there, and there wasn't the accessibility to vinyls. Whereas now you probably can go 5 minutes and get a vinyl, and actually a good quality player. I think for us, I think obviously Revox releasing recently the Mark III, I think is a sign that the market is growing. I think if we can just continue all together as an audience to just knocking on the doors of labels, and I love this release. I'd love to get it on tape and just being vocal. I think it'll continue to grow, and I think we're probably maybe cassettes and maybe at that point where vinyl was maybe 10, 12, 15 years ago. Reel-to-reel is maybe a little bit further back than that. Yes. But I think for us, if we just shout, and I think showing to labels, I know there's some labels that are looking at doing some really nice reel-to-reel releases, because I think we need more genre. We need more artists doing it and spreading across a wealth of different genres. But yeah, I think as we continue to shout about it, I think more and more companies will take notice. But again, it's for now. I think there's some incredible refurbishers out there. We have a list on our website if anyone wants to look. And I think eBay for now, and looking at some of those great sort of secondhand machines and getting them refurbished is probably the best way in right now. Yeah. But yeah, the more we can, from our side, we're shouting about it to all the companies. If an audience can too, let's do it together, and hopefully we know there'll be more in the future.
In fact, following this question and this problem, we are going to put a form here below in the video description. You're going to find a link where RTM is going to send me some questions that they would like to ask you guys. I know it may seem like a marketing thing, but I asked them. They did not ask me, so they did not ask anything. I had this idea because I think we can give them our input as audiophiles, as consumers, as professionals. I know there's a lot of professionals watching this. So if you answer that, you're going to help them. Why not do it? It's not going to take long, I bet. So follow the link and try to give your feedback on these questions, and maybe we'll increase the interest in this fantastic medium. Okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, comments, anything else?
No, thank you so much for taking your time. And thank you for your work. Everyone, what you do and putting eyes on tape is brilliant for us in the industry. So just a big thank you from us.
No, thank you guys, because investing your knowledge and your time in doing this, it's something special. Clearly nobody's getting rich on this, but it is something that is keeping alive a portion of our past, of our music past. And if we lose that, it's going to be a sad day from that in the future, if it ever comes. I
That's
hope
what
not.
I
hope not.
will. Sorry. That's what I wanted to add in conclusion. For me, yeah, we have the machine, we have the formula, but we have the people with a lot of skills and experience, and that's make the difference for me. And together, you can have everything, but if you have nobody to run the machine, yeah, you can't do it.
I agree 100%.
So that's
Skills.
my
So,
conclusion. That mm,
Thank you. Thank you, Guillaume. Okay, guys. Thank you again. And, well, hope to see you soon. If you have some Type 2 reels or cassettes, please contact me. I want to be the first. Thank you
of
again.
course.
Bye, guys.
okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Ciao. Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao.
Au revoir.
Bye. Au revoir.
Well, guys, if you're enjoying my videos and you're enjoying my channel, please consider to subscribe by clicking the black and white logo here below. Also, don't forget to click the notification bell so you'll never miss an episode and you will become a true member of the analog community.